If you ever find yourself in a situation where your coworkers invite you to dinner, never, and I repeat, never decline that invitation. You are simply not ready for the consequences. A friend of mine, a former professional in Japan, once made a simple mistake. He declined a company dinner invitation. He was tired and figured out it wasn't a big deal. The next day, however, things felt different. Conversations with colleagues became shorter, and eventually he was left out of discussions, and the usual friend list was gone. Skipping these kinds of dinner is like committing social suicide. Going out for dinner with your colleagues isn't just about fun. No, it's way more than that. This is where people let loose after a long day of work, and more importantly, where real workplace relationships are formed. After a long day, the last thing I want to do is spend my free time with colleagues. But declining such important invitation can damage your reputation. Skipping a nomikai or any form of non-mandatory meetings can make you seem unprofessional, unmotivated, and not committed to the team. And if you regularly decline, you might find yourself excluding from promotions. And this is the first of many unspoken rules of Japan. In this video, I'll uncover the 7 most important ones that I think you should know before working in Japan. I've gathered insights from expats living and working in Japan, along with real life stories that perfectly illustrate the unspoken rule you need to know. From a train that did the unthinkable to an employee who skipped work 663 times. And by telling you these unwritten rules, you have a better understanding of the Japanese culture, which makes it easy for you to live and work in Japan. In the first quarter of 2023, a series of shocking videos went viral all over the internet, shocking the whole world. This disturbing phenomenon was called sushi terrorism. The incident started at a sushi chain in Gifu, where a teenager, clearly looking for attention, decided to prank the company and its customers. This prankster licked the top of the soy sauce bottle and then, without shame, placed it back on the shelf. Huh? Is this what Japanese people call a prank? Is this supposed to be funny? This video went viral on Twitter, racking up over 40 million views. Many people commenting, "This is utterly disgusting. I can't go to these restaurants anymore." The impact was so big that some restaurants had to shut down their conveyor belts for a while. It is quite shocking to see people to do these kinds of pranks in Japan. When it comes to using proper etiquettes, Japan ranks one of the highest countries on the list. The same thing can be said about the work culture. The working culture in Japan is second to none. Nowhere in the world is etiquette seen as important as in Japan. If you don't respect etiquettes, you can be seen as unreliable or even rude. You might find yourself isolated. However, these rules are rarely discussed at work. It's often expected that you already know them. For example, the Japanese way exchanging business cards has to be done in a specific manner. While exchanging business cards, you must bow first. Give your card with your right hand. Receive your counterpart's card with your left hand. And stare at it as if that piece of paper is something so precious and priceless. It's also important to greet your coworkers the first time you see them in the morning. This is called Oskarasamdes, and it's a standard phrase whenever you bump into someone in the hallway. But luckily, as a foreigner, you don't always have to follow these rules. But the more effort you make, the more respect you gain. At November 16, 2017, Japan had the worst day of the decade. Something so unimaginable happened. It left the world in shock. An express train from Nagayama to Tokyo was scheduled to leave at 9:44 in the morning, just after the morning rush. But right after the train left the station, they discovered something unthinkable. It turned out the train had left the station at 9:44. Unbelievable. How could this have happened? Wait. What? Yep, it left 20 seconds early, 9:44 and 20 seconds, instead of 9:44 and 40 seconds. And what the company did was truly shocking, and this made headlines all over the world. The train company did a formal, heartfelt apology for the inconvenience, although nobody actually was angry or complaining. Now, if this happened in the Netherlands, it's always a coin flip. Will the train be late? Will the train arrive? Who knows? And when a train got cancelled, we never get an apology. The best we can do is wait for the next train and flip the coin again. If the train company is out there apologizing for even 20 seconds early. Imagine what happened if you show up late at work. If you're already 1 minute late in Japan, you might as well take the whole day off, because that's how bad it looks. And it's not just your manager who will judge you, it's your colleagues too. And when it comes to speaking up to the person, Japanese are quite reluctant when it comes to that. They will do something even worse. They will stare straight into your soul and make you regret ever existing. Time in Japan is sacred. People here are obsessed with being early, and honestly, I respect it. It's reliable, and it shows respect for others' time, and it proves you actually care. So if you want to work in Japan, be on time. or better, be early, unless you want to get a Luigi Death Star. During the World Cup of 2022, something completely unthinkable happened in the match between Japan and Germany. Japan pulled off an incredible 2-1 victory over the 4-time champion. And while most fans will be celebrating in a typical way, something entirely different unfolded. Instead of chaos, the Japanese fans did something no one had ever seen before. One by one, they started cleaning the stadium, collecting trash with used litter bags. Respect and peace in a stadium? What? I came to see a battle to the death between two rivals, not a community cleanup. This kind of respect isn't just in stadiums, it's everywhere in Japan. And it's not come to a surprise, this respect is important in the world culture. If you don't follow this rule, you're in big trouble. In the West, the one thing that we are the best at is roasting each other. If we like you, we will insult you to your face. It's a sign of friendship. But in Japan, it's like speedrunning an objective that is to make enemies as fast as possible. Respect is important because maintaining harmony in a group is everything. You don't want to be the person who causes someone to lose face by calling them out or making them look bad in front of others. Another way to show respect to your almighty boss is by downgrading yourself. If your boss say, "You, my friend, did an amazing job," you can't just say, "Thanks, I did it all by myself." Nope, that would be arrogant. It's expected for you to say, No, I did nothing. I am worthless." Your work should speak for itself. Another way to show your respect is through hierarchy. Japan loves hierarchy. It's embedded in everything. Age, status, experience. Not that kind of experience. But while hierarchy maintains order, it also makes change completely impossible. You have to ask to your manager, his manager will ask to his manager, and that manager needs to talk to HR to make a decision. By the time you get an answer, the heat death of the universe has already happened. At the start of this year, a 55-year-old civil servant in Matsuyama was fired after 3 years investigation by the city. And what they found was truly shocking. For years, this man had been ditching work not once, not twice, but a total of 633 times. Was his job that bad? He was skipping work to go to the gym. For 3 years, he had been sneaking out during work hours to hit the weights to become the next Sam Sudak. In the end, he was forced to pay back 1.8 million yen. But this story brings up an interesting point about the Japanese work culture, especially when working inside a traditional Japanese company. While the West is experiencing with shorter work weeks, Japan still hasn't fully grasped the meaning of work-life balance. On paper, the average working hours in Japan is 1,710 per year, less than the global average. It sounds great until you realize overtime isn't included in this number. A survey found out that the worker work on average 22 hours a month extra. That's 1 extra hour a day without getting paid. But hey, at least you always have someone to chat with at 9 PM in the office. My Japanese teacher once told me, working smart isn't always good. Working hard, that's always good. If you don't look like you're working hard or struggling, this means you don't do a good job. Speaking about leaving, the best time to leave work is after your boss leaves. Even when you finish your work hours ago. If you work inside a traditional company, and it's not uncommon to actually see employees to pretend to look busy, just to avoid looking suspicious. Not only are you expected to stay late, but arriving 15 to 30 minutes is also the norm. On the right side, if you ever wanted to be a morning person, Japan gives you no choice. In the West, arriving on time is already an achievement. However, this is a crime in Japan. Fortunately, in recent years, companies are finally introducing flexible working hours. But let's be real, this will take decades to become normal. Talking with Japanese people is easy, especially if you are a foreigner. However, making friends is impossible. During my study abroad, I met dozens of Japanese students. Almost every day, a well-Japanese student appeared. But weirdly enough, most of them never really wanted to hang out. Whenever I invited them for karaoke or getting drunk in a dark alley, somehow I got the same response. An awkward silence. But there was no conviction in their words, just discomfort. In the West, if we don't want to do something, we just say it. At first, I thought they were just shy or straight up despise me. Maybe my foreign energy was just too much. But in Japan, the word no doesn't really exist. Instead, you have to read the air and understand the hidden meanings. People rarely say what they actually mean. Instead of saying, this idea is absolutely trash, they will say, that's interesting, which actually means this is a horrible idea. Never speak about that again. This kind of directness is deeply rooted in Japanese culture, whereas maintaining a good relationship is more important than being honest. It's actually really nice that they are so conservative, but this makes it really difficult to know what they are thinking. You are supposed to read the air, which as a foreigner is really fucking difficult. One way to figure out what they really think is to observe their non-verbal communication. For example, a long pause, hesitation, or even an awkward laugh is a direct indication of fuck off.
Nice one.
Even eye contact is often avoided. Maybe that's why my invitations got ignored. Guess I never learned to read the air. A friend of mine once told me a shocking story about a colleague of hers. This woman was a hard-working and dedicated employee, working as a software developer. She was always punctual and always helping others. However, despite her hard work, her colleagues started to despise her. At first, it was subtle. Conversations between her and the colleagues slowly stopped, and colleagues started to say bad things about her. But soon it became much worse. Even the manager started assigning her the hardest and most exhausting tasks. No one helped her. She was completely isolated. What horrible thing could she have done? Well, you see, she had a child to take care of. She left work exactly on time. And to make things even worse, every year she took time off to take care of her elderly parents as well. She left work on time every day, like some kind of a responsible parent? Absolutely unacceptable. In most Western countries, she will be seen as responsible and admirable. But in a traditional Japanese workplace, she made a critical mistake. She put her personal life above the team. When working inside a traditional company, it's all about teamwork. Thinking about yourself and putting yourself above your team is seen as disgraceful, egoistic, and disrespectful. And every other rule I talk about in this video ties back to this final spoken rule. Work isn't about you. It's about the group. Being a team player is good. Thinking about yourself is bad. It's like playing sports. If you finish your work, great. Help someone else. No tasks left? Look busy. Leaving on time? Only if you hate your co-workers. It sounds harsh, but there's a benefit. If you're truly part of a team, you're never alone. When things go wrong, the group takes responsibility. There's a famous saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. In other words, don't be different and don't stand out. If this happens to you, you have two options. Quit or sacrifice your personal life and fully dedicate yourself to the team. There's simply not much in between. So if you want to work in Japan, be prepared. Either become one with the team or accept your fate as the office outcast. This choice is up to you. But luckily not every company follows these strict rules, especially international companies. And some expats actually love working here. Want to know how to do it? This video shows you how to find a job in Japan without dealing with those crazy unspoken rules. Doei doei!